I'm a big fan of splash paints. I'm just off camera here filling up my airbrush. I will be right back. See, told you I'd be back. And now that that's secured, I'm just going to use the airbrush just to blow all the dust and debris off of it. And I'm starting with the often overlooked parts, the wheel arches, overhangs, indents, things like that. And before all this, I sprayed the car with Tamiya white primer. I didn't film that because I really wasn't planning on doing anything with YouTube at the time. And here I'm just doing a little experiment to see how that would look over black surfacer. Here I'm just spraying it with some more air to make it dry a bit quicker. And it's not matching the body the way I wanted it to, so here I am back at it with the white primer. And that still falls off. I'm not sure how. And I later found out this piece is actually carbon fiber. I was just following the paint call out by Fujimi. Back to the body, I usually do about 4 or 5 light coats. This one I was able to do in only 3 coats. And you'll see me dump a bunch of paint right there because my air hose got snagged. And I skipped coat 2 just to spare you some boredom. This is onward with coat 3. These coats are still so thin, you could see the F430 embossed in the mirror. I like to seal my decals in under the clear, so I'm going to apply them now. Oddly enough, the instruction sheet does not call for these being applied, which is very odd. And as you can see, I like to put just a little dab of water where I'm going to put my decals. That just keeps them wet and slippery to make adjustment a bit easier. Q-tips are pretty standard, so I'm using one as my spacing guide so I know where to place this decal to keep them even. And on the real car, The top of the crest just very slightly tilts towards the back of the car because the back of the car is a little bit higher, so that just keeps them even, straight. Now the decal is just a little bit bigger than the protrusion that it needs to sit on, so this took a little while to get it aligned perfectly. All Ferraris have the Portofino signature right here on the quarter panel. I installed those on Tamiya's F50 and they're so small, so little, it looked just like hair under the clear, so I did not use it. On to the clear coat. We are using splash paints yet again. This is their 2K clear. It calls for mixing it at 3 parts clear to 1 part hardener. I like to mix mine 3 to 1 to 1. So 3 parts clear, 1 part hardener, and 1 part thinner. Here I'm just hitting the decals with a very light coat just to start sealing them in. I've noticed if you go heavy right off the bat, they tend to kind of just burn and melt. Can't really describe what happens to them. That's about 10 minutes of flash time, so I'm just moving on to clear the whole body now. It's getting kind of fumy in there. I didn't realize it, but my fans came unplugged, and I can't really pull all that out right now to plug them back in, because I got clear it's going to start to harden in 30 minutes. Here we are, round 2. With each coat, I like to add a half a milliliter of thinner, just to thin it out more, make it lay on smoother. I got kind of a heavy finger, so I like to make adjustments to the gun instead of recalibrating my finger. And this is the final coat. You can see how much I've thinned that out. It's probably about 60% thinner at this point. And I just use heavy duty hardware store lacquer thinner. And I know paint is very boring to watch dry, so I do appreciate you sticking around till the end.